What's up, my friends? Welcome to another terrific Tuesday. And today I got an awesome multi-question from one of you guys, and I just thought it was really good, and I wanted to do that today. It's about being minimalist in all 4 seasons. So like in a place with all 4 seasons. So I'm gonna read the question, the whole question, and then we'll knock it down. Do you live in a place that has more than 1 season? An ongoing struggle that I'm having is to accommodate all 4 seasons into my wardrobe, including boots, a pocket jacket that I found after scouring store shelves, and I've narrowed down my wardrobe considerably, and I've just started buying 2 of the same object to minimalize even further. Saving up for a pair of shoes that will cover both dress and practical shoes. Then I will successfully own a 30-piece wardrobe with all 4 seasons. Whoa. Can you recommend any shoes that cover both style and are durable while not breaking my bank? I'd also like to know how you would include all 4 seasons and how far you can go until you're in your underwear outside. I don't wear underwear. Lastly, your best suitcase pick that is easily stored below $100. Okay, so do you live in a place that has more than 1 season? Currently, right now, no. Even when we got here in Hawaii, I live in Oahu. The season is almost like summer all year round, and then when it's winter, it's kind of like a cooler, like it would be getting to fall, which is actually the type of the weather here that I like the best, because actually the summer part of it is it's so much hotter than I thought Hawaii was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be more, I don't know, it's not my perfect weather. Not my perfect weather. I hate to say that because this place is awesome, but it's not my perfect weather. I like the sunshine and everything, but after having done this for going on like 5 months now, I'm starting to realize that, I don't know, maybe I do like it cold sometimes too, and not just air-conditioned cold. So right now, no, but I did live in Los Angeles for 8 years before that, and we definitely do have like summer, like a fall, a mild winter according to like other places, because I lived in Pennsylvania and we would have snowstorms and everything like that. So I definitely know what you're talking about, of those kind of extremes. I can give you kind of a guideline for some stuff. However, there are even different types of seasons, because like summer in Florida is very different than summer in New Mexico. Because I've been to summer in Florida, it's very humid. You go outside, it is so humid. And then summer in New Mexico, like you're in an oven. So it's just different. You're just gonna have to also adjust towards your seasons and your specifics. However, I can give you some insight on some things. So you're trying to get everything down to 30-piece wardrobe. I have seen lots of minimalist stuff, and that's one of the things I do think is kind of crazy, is being like, you have to have this much stuff to be a minimalist. I think there are things like, if you need more clothes but you have less, say because you're in cold weather, you don't necessarily have as many things for, say, activities like surfing or swim stuff, then that's where it gets like tricky, of like, what, just because your clothes are this many, you might have more clothes but less objects. And some, like where I'm at, I might have more objects but less clothes right now. So I think the limiting your wardrobe to hit a certain number, kind of, you know, like, it's cool and all, and it's cool to say like, hey, I only have this much stuff, but don't get stuck on that. Like, don't get stuck. I think even in Hawaii, like I have like 50 items of clothing, and it's still like, I feel like it's too much, but I also have trouble figuring out, I had to buy a whole bunch of new clothes when I got here because my t-shirts were too hot here. Like the weather, it's very hard to find clothes for here, I think. I actually ordered some clothes from Thailand because Thailand clothes were like way thinner. The shorts I have on right now, boom, these are crazy thin. And these are probably my favorite shorts right now because they are the thinnest thing I have. So don't get stuck on the numbers. Don't get stuck on numbers. Get stuck on needs. Like, what are the things you need to have the best, easy, simplest time where you are in what season? That is, like, I cannot recommend that more. Don't get stuck on the number, get stuck on your needs. Like, it might feel like, oh, maybe I have a lot of clothes, but when you're dealing with snow, I mean, if that gets wet, like, that whole outfit's ruined. You need a whole new outfit then, because you can't wear that again the next day unless you have a dryer in your house and you could dry everything, and then it's not a very big deal. Okay, so I will also agree with you on the jacket. I'm super, super, super huge fan of REI. And if you're not a member of REI and you want to live a minimalist lifestyle, I definitely recommend you get an REI membership, because basically minimalist stuff, like, you're gonna like a lot of the stuff that they have for camping in a way, because stuff packs down. Like, this is like a warm jacket. It's a Patagonia, not down, because that's not vegan. Because if you guys didn't remember, I'm vegan. So that's also all my recommendations are gonna try to be as vegan as possible to the best of my knowledge. So this turns into a whole jacket, and I think this is what you were talking about, that you found a packet jacket, which I highly recommend. If you have money, or if you don't have money, get one of these. These things are awesome. They're super easy. You can just strap it to your backpack or whatever luggage when you're traveling, so you have a whole jacket with you, and it takes up technically no extra space because you just attach it to your luggage. Boom. You don't have to put it in your luggage, you just attach it to it. Just like those like neck pillows. But you're cheating. That's how you get extra luggage on the plane. Boom! Save space in your luggage. So I totally recommend one of these. And depending on what size you are, if you're a smaller lady or a man, you can fit into the kids' large clothes, and there's always clearance jackets for the kids' stuff. I found like a raincoat there, like super cheap. I think it was like 15 bucks. Crazy cheap. So I can fit into an extra large boy's clothes, even extra large boys like long john things, like those things, wicking layers. So I can buy kids stuff, the kids stuff is like half the price. It's crazy. And REI has like a sick return policy. So if you buy it, you use it, you don't like it, you take it back, full refund, baby. Full refund. If you take it, you buy it, you use it, it wears out too quickly, you take it back, full refund, baby. Full refund. Don't even need to have your receipt. They have it all logged with your member number. You do have to pay for a membership. I think it's $25. Good forever. You are a member forever. And if you buy any items full price, you also get dividends. So next April you get dividends, and you'll have gotten, it's profit sharing sort of thing, because REI is a co-op, which is awesome. And then they have, every year they have their garage sale in, I think it's right around now-ish, like April. It's right around tax time, where they'll resell all the used gear, or the stuff that's come in, got returned, and everything. That stuff you can't return, but you can get stuff crazy, crazy, crazy cheap. You can kill it then. And they always have some deals, like right now too, they also have like 20% off an item. If you remember right now, like one clearance item and one regular price item. So don't think that their prices are like what you have to pay. There's always a loophole around it. Usually, mostly, there's something you really want there, you can figure it out and get it cheaper than that price. But I'd say their gear is so good, and I rely on a lot of things from that, because it's practical stuff. Like, people use that when camping, like, so I think camping is equivalent to minimalist living, because you're living with less. So that's why camping gear is such a great place to look for minimalist gear, because you use the same sort of things. And then you wanted to talk about, like, so that's a packet jacket. I also want to show you this, because you did ask about luggage. I don't really like having any sort of luggage, and if you check, like, I went to Europe and backpacked Europe last year, and I just did it with a Tom Bin backpack. I didn't bring any luggage, because when I went to Japan I brought luggage, and it was such a pain in the ass, and then most of the stuff I never used. So I was like, fuck that, not doing that no more. But this thing, so this is an entire backpack. Again, this is like a camping trail hiking sort of thing. So this turns into a whole backpack. So I'll usually bring this as my carry-on item. Like I'll have my backpack, and then I will have this bag filled with all my food when I go on a plane. So that's what I use when traveling. And that way when I'm like done with the food, you just pack it all back up in the little thing, and then you saw how small it was, and you just shove it in there, goes back in, and there you go. Like, that's, just keep it as simple as you possibly can. I think people bring way too much stuff to try to be too comfortable when they're traveling, and I get it, because when you have experienced something and it's traumatic and you're like, oh, I'll never forget to bring that again, like always bring that again. But like, part of travel is being uncomfortable. It's about just like, it's pushing yourself, living a different way and trying things a little differently, as opposed to just doing what you would do at home entirely, because that's not the point of travel. That's why it's crazy, like when rich people travel and they go they only stay at those crazy nice resorts and all that stuff and like all that money. But I'm like, then what was the point of even going? You should have just stayed at home. You would have saved a bunch of money. Experience some other stuff, like get a little uncomfortable. And I know there's some things like that you're like, I will not be uncomfortable with, and I get that. But also like, pick and choose some of those items right there. Be a minimalist and what you'll be uncomfortable with, you know? Or what you'll be comfortable, uncomfortable. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. See? Boom. Backpacks packed back up. So more packable stuff you can get that packs into its own little sack. Recommend like none other. I'll put links to this stuff below. Most of it's from REI. And then this is the backpack that I use for traveling. It's small. They do have one that's bigger. But then you also got to think, if it's bigger, it's going to be heavier. And you can fit clothes in here. You have some packing cubes. You can fit enough stuff in here for traveling for a couple weeks, especially if you just wash some of your stuff during the middle of your trip. Boom, done. Okay, so the next part, okay, shoes. This is where we're definitely going to differ, because I've now grown a new love for a different type of shoe. So like, I wear these everywhere. Even before we moved to Hawaii, I was wearing these. These are Zero shoes. They are so freaking awesome. There is no arch support. At first, they are going to probably hurt because you don't have very strong arches, because you're wearing all these shoes with all this stuff in it, and you're actually hurting yourself. It's just like the bed thing. You're sleeping on beds that provide all this cushion, and then you're not actually strengthening your muscles, that sort of thing. They roll up, so they're really great for travel packing stuff. You can get them wet, all that stuff. They're super light, super light. They're like 50 bucks. They have like a 5,000 mile guarantee or something. I'll put a link to them below. And they just started making shoes, sneakers. So these are the sneakers I have from them. Oh, so I will say is that Brandon, for the longest time, had flat feet. He started wearing Zero shoes, and he had his arches tested at one of those arch machines, and he has arches now. So you can fix your arches if you have flat feet with Zero shoes. It's a fact. You could do it. Incredible. So I have their sneakers right now. So these, I don't know how warm they would be in cold weather. I don't know. I also think your socks depend on that, not just your shoes, because your socks need to wick well and everything like that. Yeah, those are the shoes that I use right now. They're pretty cool, and they have some new designs. So they have some like cooler looking ones now. New one just came out. It's like more trail running-y shoes, and your body will thank you once you start wearing shoes that actually support you the right way. So those are the shoes I personally wear. That's it. That's all the shoes I own right now. And I used to have tons and tons of shoes. For colder weather, I used to use skate shoes all the time because I skateboarded. But now I'm like, there's a little bit more, because the glues and everything of which ones are vegan, which ones are not. It's a little more of a hassle. So the Zero shoes are vegan. Boom. Easy for me. Done. Not gonna worry about it. But to give you the info you wanted, I did a little research, and VeganOutdoorAdventures.com, she did a whole bunch of research about the vegan hiking boots, which I would say hiking boots are what you would use for cold weather. That's what I would think. And so she has a whole list of the shoes. You see that? They're all vegan, they're all hiking boots. And so there's different styles for different occasions for sure. Let me see. So it just depends really what you think practical is and what you think like dress is, because I totally would think that for me these are dress shoes. These are dress shoes for me. Because I don't dress up anymore. I don't really do that. And then, or if I was wearing a dress, which I almost never do, I'd wear these because they're cute. So my advice definitely would be to scour the REI clearance and the REI garage sale if you have an REI near you, or even look up on the REI website, find items that you like, and then check Craigslist and see if somebody's selling their items, because I have found items that way too. So all 4 seasons wardrobe. I think investing into, say, a nice jacket, you know, like a package like this, is very important for like cold weather. You might be, at first you're like, oh, it's too expensive. But if you keep buying a jacket every single year, that becomes far more expensive than this jacket that's gonna last you like 6, 7, 8 years. Becomes a lot less money. I spent so much of my life like being so cheap and doing, just pinching all the pennies and scraping, but then wasting my money and gathering debt, that I hurt myself so much more in the long run than if I had just invested in a nice pair of shoes, in one nice jacket. I would have saved thousands upon thousands of dollars. And I also wouldn't have bought, say, like when I bought junk at the store, because like, oh, this is cheap, this is on sale, this and that. Like, you don't spend that money because you know you just bought a $200 jacket and you're like, okay, I gotta reel that back. Like, it helps you not just buy, because that's how we're programmed right now, is just buy, which is really hard to break free from. It's very hard, I will admit that. And then summer, I think one bathing suit is enough. Fall, you know, like I would say I have this, and then I have a hoodie that I wear over top of this for like it being super cold. And then this is quite warm, so like fall, sometimes this is even too hot for fall. It just depends on what your weather is, for sure, like what you need. But I think layering is the way to go. You could see what the people use for, like, say, climbing the Andes or the Alps or all that stuff, and they just use layers of stuff. Like, they don't have like these like giant jackets, because you want to be able to take stuff off, put it on, because you get hot, because like when it's cold you get hot, you sweat and all that, and you need to be able to adjust your temperature really quickly. So layers are very important instead of just one giant jacket. Packing cubes, I feel like too, like that will keep you from having too much stuff. Get yourself a couple packing cubes, figure out your layers, and like, okay, this is for my colder weather stuff, and it could be a bigger packing cube. It's just all up to you. Roll them up, that'll save space. The cubes, I think I got this 3-pack for like 25 bucks or so on there. And then like my shorts, my sarong, that's not filled obviously. I could jam that with more stuff. Got some t-shirts in it. But like, look at the space it saves, because if you fold up one t-shirt, like that would be the space of almost 1 or 2 t-shirts, and I've got like 4 or 5 t-shirts in there. So you save a lot of space with packing cubes. Cannot recommend packing cubes more. I always used to think they were so dumb, because I was like, why do you need a packing cube for packing? Get yourself packing cubes. If you don't have packing cubes, you will thank me. Fall, summer, winter. What the hell is the last? Spring. I feel like spring and fall are about the same, so you know, just like a decent jacket like this would work for fall or spring. And then depending on how cold, you know how many layers you have. If you need long sleeve shirts, you get yourself like a wicking layer, not just a thermal long sleeve shirt, because thermals actually will make you sweat. You need something to wick that sweat off of you and keep you from getting wet, to keep you from getting cold, like just regulates your temperature much better than if you were to just wear one of those thermal shirts. You'd wear a wicking layer, then a thermal shirt, and that's how you would kind of work that out. And wicking layers you can find, again, at REI. So including all 4 seasons, I would say the packing cubes. So that way you know, like, oh, this is my summer packing cube, this is my winter packing cube, this is my fall and spring packing cube, and then boom, you don't have like a ton of stuff. It's all separated, but you can also go into it if you need it. So in your underwear outside, and like I said earlier, I don't really wear underwear except for that time of the month. It's the only time I wear underwear because it's the only time where it could be a problem, because I don't like it anymore. And then I just felt like it was more stuff, it was just more laundry. Socks, like, too, even in the cold weather, like you saying, you're getting 2 of it, and I was like, that's the right amount. Like, that seems like that's the right amount, because if you have 2 pairs of socks, wash the socks the one night, you hang them to dry, and they'll have dried by the time the next day that, not the next day, but like you use the second pair, and then by that next day after that, like, you'll be able to use them again. Hand washing really helps stuff. Can't recommend that more. And I think we just get kind of carried away with having too many things for wanting to look different all the time. I'm okay looking a lot more similar. Just make sure the clothes that you are buying you really love, that you like, make you feel really good, or make you feel really confident, or make you feel really happy. So that way you don't mind wearing it all the time, because that is your favorite shirt. I can't express that enough, of how many times I just used to wear all this clothes that made me feel terrible because I didn't want to ruin my good stuff. And then by the time like a year goes by, and then I'm like, I never wear this, so I guess I should get rid of it. I'm like, man, I love that, and I barely used it. Why didn't I wear it? Because I was trying to keep it new. For what? For what reason? Use it. That's what it's there for. So just make sure you like the things that you have. Don't just get them because they're the cheapest thing. And that's another thing, because it's also about your overall whole mental health and everything. If you feel happy, if it makes you feel happy, it's like great, you'll want to wear it more and everything. And I'll wear the same shorts multiple days in a row. It's just, you know, who cares? Like, if you're gonna judge me for that, then maybe I don't want to be friends with you. And I think that's another thing too, is a lot of these things we're worried about doing is because other people will judge us, won't be friends with us, think we're gross. Well, like, if my clothes are clean, what does it matter? Do what you gotta do. Do what you want to do. Do your thing, you know? The people who don't mind and everything and like your personality will not care. They don't care. They find it interesting, they find you unique, they find you, you know, it's always nice to meet somebody who has different viewpoints than you, because you just learn more about the world and other people. So do what makes your life the easiest, what makes you feel the best. And I know for some people, worrying about what other people think makes them feel good. That's, well, you need to work on yourself, because it should never, your happiness should never be about other people. It should be about you. Okay. And then suitcase, like I said, I don't use suitcases. I showed you what I would use for luggage for travel. The only time I really will use luggage is when I'm moving, and I will go to Bed Bath & Beyond with a 20% off coupon, because they never expire. And I will get like one of the hard case luggages, put everything I own in there, and then move it to the next place. And then I'll probably donate it to Goodwill, because I don't really like luggage. Luggage is also risky because you can get bed bugs with it. Like, if you bring that to hotels and everything, the more stuff you bring, the better chance you have of, you know, bed bugs coming into your stuff and then you bringing it home. And if you've never had bed bugs, you have no idea. You only know what you see. But if you have had them, you know how fucking awful it is, and how stressful and everything, and like, you have to throw almost everything out anyways, and if you don't, you risk getting them again. So, not a very big fan of luggage. And if you do get it, I always get the plastic luggage, so that way there's less stuff to catch bed bugs. And I understand if you're going from college, from home, and that's why you're getting the luggage, that's a little different. But then use your, whatever your luggage is, as storage for, say, your summer clothes that you aren't pulling out and using all the time. For that extra stuff, just use it as storage, because I know you're looking for space saving but if you use it as a piece of furniture, it is space saving. So that's that sort of thing. Like, okay, because you asked me about that one luggage that folds flatter. I think that's cool if that works for you. It is expensive, so I don't know. I just, spending $200 on luggage just doesn't seem worth it to me, because if anything, you know, if you get bed bugs, like, I'm so afraid of getting bed bugs. Another thing you can do if you're only using that luggage, say once a year or whatever, just get a cardboard box. Throw your stuff, your clothes and everything in a cardboard box for when you're checking it on the plane. If it's like for checked bag, I don't know if you're carry-on or checked baggage, but if it's checked baggage, then you could just throw everything in a box, tape it up, and you're allowed to check that. I've seen a lot of people do that, and it's a lot cheaper. And it's more environmentally friendly because you can even find boxes for free. So that's a recommendation. Not that I'm pushing buying stuff from either, because I know all that stuff was probably made in a damn sweatshop, and that, I have issues with that too. So I've tried to, it's tough. It's tough to live in this world and not accidentally take advantage of somebody in some form. Okay, so I think I hit all of the questions that you asked. I just think you have to understand that if you're in 4 seasons, you're gonna need more stuff. That's just like, that's realistic. It's not about like you're not doing minimalism right. You're totally doing it if you're being mindful. That's the most thing, is like if you're paying attention to everything you got, and you're like, yeah, this serves me a purpose, I use this, then you're doing it right. I know it doesn't always feel like if you have 30 items, you're like, oh, do I still have too much? Like, no, that sounds awesome. Like, you're doing better than me on clothes in a way, I think. I don't even know. And I don't even know. I gotta check my stuff. I've been meaning to go through all my stuff again, but I haven't, because, spoiler alert, I am going to be leaving Hawaii and moving back to Los Angeles. And so my clothings are gonna change again, because I know the weather is different there than here, and I'm looking forward to it. And I think that's just, you know, just be okay not being the same as everybody else in minimalism, because minimalism is not one thing. It's more of an idea of purposeful having, doing, being. Ooh, that's good. So as long as you're doing stuff with purpose and thought and mindfulness, like, you're doing a great job. Like, don't worry too much. I hope you're able to find some of the things useful. I hope that helps. I hope that also gives you a little bit more insight into how I kind of think. Like, when I travel, I try to bring as least amount of possible, and I'll just suffer for a bit, because everything in life is temporary. It's all temporary. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Okay, guys, subscribe, because I got some more minimalism videos coming to you soon. And yeah, I guess that's it, guys. I gotta go. Okay? Catch you later.